August 9, 1977, a newspaper strip was released in which Kingpin gave Spider-Man an ID bracelet. This bracelet was an electronic radar device that allowed Kingpin to track Spider-Man. This comic was the inspiration to the ankle monitor we know to this day. Hi, my name is Matt Smilix, and today we are discussing the ways comics have influenced criminology. This comic strip was read by a New Mexico judge named Jack Love. He realized such a device would be useful for people in the criminal justice system. Jack Love partnered with engineer Michael Goss to make what they would call the Goss Link system. Those were electronic handcuffs the size of a pack of cigarettes. The system would send a signal every 60 seconds to a receiver, which would dial a central computer when the handcuffs were out of range. The Goss Link system was actually used several times in the 80s. One of them was a man who was jailed for writing bad checks who had a baby at home. The man had to wear the ankle monitor for 30 days. A second defendant wore the monitor as well for 30 days because he violated his probation. The pilot program of Jack Love was stopped after only 3 people got to wear the ankle monitors. This was because the judge had signed a contract with Goss for the units without consulting other judges in the county. That violates the state's Public Purchasing Act. However, this did get the idea moving, and by 1988 it was a very mainstream concept. This isn't the only device that was related to comics. William Moulton Marston was a psychologist, and he was the creator of the systolic blood pressure test. His wife, Elizabeth, suggested that there was a connection between emotions and blood pressure. She noticed her blood pressure would rise whenever she felt excited or angry. This would be an important component of the modern lie detector test. Not only that, but he saw great educational potential in comic books. Therefore, he was hired by Max Gaines as an educational consultant for DC Comics. In the early 1940s, he noticed how most superpowered beings were men. William wanted a new superhero who wouldn't fight with his fist or firepower, but with love. His wife Elizabeth suggested to make her a woman. This became Wonder Woman. In 1943, William wrote, "Not even girls want to be girls so long as our feminine archetype lacks force, strength, and power. Not wanting to be girls, they don't want to be tender, submissive, peace-loving as good women are. Women's strong qualities have become despised because of their weakness. The obvious remedy is to create a feminine character with all the strength of Superman, plus all the good allure of a good and beautiful woman." Her weapon of choice at the time was the lasso of truth. The lasso allows Wonder Woman to force villains to submit and speak the truth, almost like a lie detector. As I mentioned earlier, William Marston believed in the educational potential comic books would have, and he may have been right. Comic books can influence human morals and behavior. It's not uncommon for fictional characters to be our role models. I bet even you had a fictional role model at least at some point in your life. Comic book characters are interesting role models because they are strong and nearly indestructible, but they're still human in a way that can be relatable. At a basic level, superheroes demonstrate that regular people can be greater than their station. Superman is a regular farm boy who learns he's made of steel. Batman witnesses the death of his parents and vows to fight crime. Wonder Woman grew up in a world where she felt more like an outcast, and she finds her meaning and home somewhere else. Even though these godlike characters aren't directly relatable, their experiences and feelings are, and they carry morally educational value. In the 60s, comics, especially Marvel Comics, did become more relatable due to them adding lots of characters who struggled with real-life issues such as bullying, racism, and poverty. They also added real-life events, and a lot of it took place in New York City. This grew their potential as role models. These fictional characters are helpful to us as people because they can help us better understand our own life and internalize societal values. We learn from these characters and improve ourselves. A 2010 study by Greitemeyer, Osswald, and Brauer found that engaging with a fictional story and witnessing prosocial behavior in fictional characters increased empathy and real-world prosocial behavior. This means that the commitment superheroes have to their altruistic ideals and behaviors can play a role in our own moral development. A 2016 study found that participants who read superhero comics were also more likely to help someone in need. Another study in 2018 corroborated these results. They found that participants in a room with a superhero poster were more likely to help others compared to participants who were in a room with a bicycle poster. However, a 2005 and 2017 study also found that exposure to superhero media may increase prosocial aggression in children, which means that people may use more violence when exposed to superhero media, but they justify it because it's used to do good. It's usually used to defend others who are, for example, being bullied. I thought it would be interesting to see whether people who read superhero comics would also commit less crimes. However, I couldn't really find any articles on it. So I conducted my own little experiment. I asked my followers on social media to fill in a short survey. Now, I know it's not the best research method and I also just invented the questions myself, but it's something. The survey contained questions on the comics they've read and the crimes they have committed in the last 5 years. I left the survey online for 48 hours and I got a total of 223 responses. I did delete 3 of them. One of them said their crime was eating pineapple on pizza, and as a pineapple girly, that is not a crime. It's completely fine. It's good. It's delicious. Go eat your pineapple on pizza. Another person commented with "It's over 9,000 on the question how many crimes you have committed. It could be true, but I'm just gonna assume to be safe that it's just a meme. And the last person I deleted was someone who just commented E on all the questions, so yeah, not very valid. So in total we got 220 participants. 50.9% of them reads comics and 49.1% does not. Of the ones who do read comics, most of them read 2 to 3 issues a month. Several of them also replied with 0, but they gave an explanation. For example, some of them just simply did not have the time to read comics every month, others prefer graphic novels which do not come out monthly, and others just replied that they do read comics, however they used to do it more when they were younger, and they just don't read as much as they do now. When it comes to crime, only 9.7% of the 220 participants had committed a crime in the last 5 years. The other 89.1% did not. However, I did not specify what I consider a crime, so we can take the amount of saints with a grain of salt. I found that 2.3% of the people who committed a crime did read comics during that period. The most common offenses were regarding driving, such as driving under the influence of alcohol or speeding. There were an equal amount of thefts reported as well. There were a few more serious crimes such as stalking or firearm-related incidents, and a few more less serious crimes such as smoking weed, using illegal streaming services, and littering. I then used SPSS to see whether there was a correlation between reading comics and committing crimes. I found a Spearman correlation of -0.182 and a p-value of 0.007. This means that there is a small but significant correlation between reading comics and committing crimes, in a way that people who do read comics tend to commit less crimes. Obviously, we cannot say that reading comic books will reduce crime rates, but there is a correlation. If this video piqued your interest in criminology, or you're just eager to learn more, here's a video I made in which we explore whether or not Batman is the cause of crime in Gotham City. With that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!